That is wrong because you're supposed to drink the soup first. Ramen is like a religion here. If I can flip this bowl upside down and your table won't even get dirty, I respect your master. Only kids aged 10 or over are allowed in this place. Hey guys and girls from Japanese, it's Kathy Cat. Greetings from Tokyo. And today we're going to talk about the strictest rules that exist here about eating ramen in Japan. You love ramen? You need to know these rules. Let's go. Rule number 1. Don't eat, just drink. Now, eating ramen is a little bit like an achievement because you're coming in there and the noodles are hot and the soup is hot and everything's super hot and there's so many spices and flavors and you're like... Having a hot bowl of steaming hot ramen right in front of you is already such a satisfying experience. And then there are the noodles, the hot soup, the spices, the flavors, the other ingredients that might be in there. There are so many things you can enjoy. And once you slurp up all the noodles and you enjoy your ramen bowl, you have like a cold drink of water, and it's just awesome. But you might have done something wrong already.
ラーメンどこから食べる？麺から食べる？肉から食べる？それとも野菜から食べる？違うよ。
いいのそれで。That is wrong because you're supposed to drink the soup first. Don't start with the noodles. Don't start with the other ingredients on top. No, you're supposed to have a slurp, a little bit of a taste of the soup very, very first. Japanese people all know this and you need to know this too because the soup is the spirit of the ramen master. The broth here in Japan is incredibly important because all the ingredients, it's not just putting all the ingredients in. Some of those soups are special recipes. Some of those soups have been boiling for centuries and been prepared and passed on for generations. Think of the ramen master in their kitchens. They're sitting there, they're cleaning the bones, the broth that they need for the broth. Then you take it out a saw or a hammer to smash it down, and the chicken bones, getting all those ingredients, and then the vegetables, and then have it maybe steep overnight. And then they have some special little things where they're really, really careful about it has to be a very specific type of bone or something. There's so many things and so much thought that goes into each and every soup. And that is why so many different restaurants are here and they're able to survive because they really work so hard at the broth. Oh, are you okay?
わざとで
マジかよ。After all those days, weeks, hours, month of effort is only a sign of you respecting the hard work that was put into the broth as having the very first try of the soup before you actually start with the rest. Number 2. Shh, don't speak, just feel. Now, what would you do if you actually went to a restaurant, the food is just so tasty, it's melting on your mouth, it's fantastic? You'd probably go and praise the chef, especially if the chef is right next to you and on the other side of the counter. But in Japan, that might not be the case. You shouldn't actually say that. As mentioned before, the ramen masters have spent hours, weeks, months, maybe years, maybe generations on their soup. So they know it's good. You don't need to say it. They know it's good. They're there. They've done a thing. It is good. You don't need to tell them that. They know. So when you're eating ramen and you're really enjoying it, you don't need to say anything. You just have to radiate the tasty aura and they will know that it is good. Ramen is like a religion here. If you look at the ramen masters, they are doing serious business. They're wearing black shirts, they have a serious look on their face, and they're wearing these towels right here that are coming down to their eyebrows. You can't even see their expression. And when they stand there and they fold their arms, they look like security guards. Rule number 3, don't snap, just eat. Ah, that pancake is so cute. Oh, look at those flowers, they're so cute. The bridge, the sky, my shoes, the ramen, no! When you come into a ramen store and you spend too much time trying to take pictures of the ramen, the master actually might go and tell you to leave.
このラーメン美味しそう。これインスタよ。これツイッターよ。これフェイスブックよ。あ、メタだった。かわいいかわいい。
お前は帰れ。Yes, of course, there are millions and thousands and hundred thousands of pictures of ramen online on Instagram and other social media. But depending on which ramen place you're going to, the master might actually forbid you to take pictures. So if you take pictures, you have to leave. You can't even finish your ramen. But why is that so? The ramen master wants you to taste the ramen first, to smell them, to breathe in the hot steam, to try and eat the broth. Remember how proud and how important the broth is to the ramen masters? They spend hours on it, and it's getting cold while you're trying to take pictures of it. There is actually a ramen place that is known for them not allowing you to take pictures, and the owner pretty much said, customers pay me. I serve them tasty ramen. And that is good, and that is enough. It might seem ridiculous, but that is the best way to make both of us happy. I guess it is understandable. He also wrote on his SNS about his store saying, no photos in my shop. This restaurant is only for people who want to come and eat ramen. Hold on a second, you got social media? Yes, his social media has actually been used for official announcement about the ramen place that he owns, but not for pictures, guys. Not for pictures. My little hint for you guys would be, before you take pictures in any ramen store, just ask if it's okay. If they say yes and they look happy, then that's fine. In case you don't know how to say it in Japanese, it's 写真撮ってもいいですか?写真撮ってもいいですか? Of course, after an announcement as controversial as the one of that ramen master, there have been some opinions for both sides, because some people say, yes, ramen is served at the best temperature in the best way at that very moment when it lands on your table. So even 10 seconds later, the taste might change, the fat might change, the consistency of a lot of things might change. And that's why you're supposed to eat it the moment it lands right in front of you on your plate. After all, it says a lot about the pride and passion that Japanese ramen masters have for their food, for their craft, and you need to respect that if you go into their store. But what is your opinion on it? Let us know in the comments. Let's head on. Rule number 4, don't leave, don't flip. There are also a couple of new rules that are coming up now that are not done by the ramen masters, but actually by the customers. What are some things you should say once you finish your meal? Maybe, ごちそうさまでした。美味しかったです。But recently, there is one new trend that some people have started on social media that a couple of people are not happy about, and that is flipping the bowl. One extreme ramen fan did a thing on social media that kind of caught some fire. He finished the ramen, but he also drank the entire soup. He took the bowl of ramen and flipped it upside down to show the master, I respect you so much. I didn't even only eat the whole thing, I also drank the whole thing. I can flip this bowl upside down and your table won't even get dirty. I respect you, master. I respect you. お前は帰れ. I guess that is a ramen fanatic's way of saying finger licking yummy. I appreciate you, master. But actually, it's a super big nuisance. It got very popular on social media because it is so weird. But you actually shouldn't be doing that because it still messes up the master's table. And especially right now, that's a really bad idea. So don't flip it. Rule number 5, adults only. There are actually a couple of ramen places that will not allow you to bring your kids. For example, because kids might make the table even messier, or they might be really noisy, or they might run around the ramen shops and they're kind of small. There is not much space for that kind of stuff. Or they can't even sit on the back counters. Sometimes the back counters are really high and really hard to sit on. Especially in Tokyo, the ramen stores can be very, very small. There might only be seats from maybe 5 people to 10 people. Sometimes there's not that much space, so it's understandable that some people want to maybe restrict it a little bit to the audiences that can eat there in peace. But there is actually the story of a dad and his daughter. They wanted to go to a very famous ramen place in their neighborhood, and they made their way there. But when they arrived and looked at the door, there was a sign saying only kids aged 10 or over are allowed in this place. So in the neighborhood, they kept walking and found another ramen place just to see another sign on the door saying, yes, kids can be a nuisance to other customers, but so were we when we were young, so come on in, have a good time. We will take care of it and clean up after, don't you worry. Enjoy your ramen experience. Maze soba, ramen, tantanmen, tsukemen. There's so many different types of ramen here to enjoy. When you come to Japan, especially in Tokyo, there is such a density of amazing ramen restaurants right here in the city. And some people actually make a kind of hobby out of it to go to a different ramen place wherever they're going. There's even booklets called Ramen Walker, on which the ramen... There are even booklets called the Ramen Walker in which the top 10 or the top 100 ramen places of Tokyo are listed. That one keeps changing and people love to go to the different ramen places. One hint there as well, some of them, they will just stop serving ramen once they're out of soup stock, and that can happen actually quite early in the day. So you might actually line up and then they tell you, sorry, soup's out. That can happen. So those were some of the extreme ramen fan rules here in Japan, but don't you worry, that doesn't apply to every store. Some of them are much more lenient. So for example, you can usually see my pictures of my ramen or tsukemen or the ones of the director on our Instagram, and it is fine. Just make sure that you maybe ask beforehand. I actually got into trouble once. I got told off by friends saying, do not take pictures in here. It really depends on where you're going, and all those rules don't apply to every place. Some places are very happy if you tell them it's yummy. Some places are very happy if you take pictures and maybe tag them on social media. So don't you worry about that. But you might go, especially if you're a real ramen connoisseur and you want to try very specific good ramen, you might actually have to know these rules because they do count. But the soup rule counts for everyone. So have a great day. I'll catch you soon here in Tokyo. Don't forget, this video here is probably the next one you might want to watch. Oh, it's over here? Okay. This video over here is something you might want to watch if you want to come to Tokyo. So I'll catch you soon in another video on Ash Japanese. Bye. Thanks for subscribing.